friends, and happy November. I truly cannot even believe that it is already November. It kind of feels like October was here and flew by before I even knew what was going on. And thankfully, I did get a couple of really good October spooky, witchy reads. But now it is time for us to change from spooky fall reads to cozy fall reads. So I have got some incredible suggestions to share with you today. Let's get into those. First book that I am going to suggest for the month of November is November 9 by Colleen Hoover. Now, I had to add this to the beginning of the list because the title is a date at the beginning of November. Kaylee logic. And this book follows a girl named Fallon, and Fallon was seriously burned when her home caught fire when she was younger. And another thing about her is that she really struggles with her relationship with her father. It is a very strained relationship. So Fallon and her father are out to lunch one day, and it's not going very well, but then she is rescued by her fake boyfriend Ben, who jumps in to help save her. And until this point, she didn't know Ben, and her and Ben form a friendship that turns into a pact. And their pact is that for the next 5 years, they are going to meet on November 9th, which is the date they originally met, to catch up. I'm not going to share any more about this book with you because I don't want to spoil it, but oh my gosh, you are not even ready for this. If you have not read that book already, you need to pick it up, add it to your list right now. It is such a good book. I will be honest and say that it's not really fall vibes, but it is set in the month of November, so it's a great fit. Next book on our list is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Now, I know that that sounds confusing. When you hear beach read, you're thinking that it's going to be a summery and fun and warm destination book. No, this book is all of the fall atmosphere that we are looking for. The setting is up in the mountains in a cabin. It's cold. There's some hiking. It's got the whole thing. I actually really enjoy Emily Henry's writing, and this one is no exception. So in this book, we're following Augustus Everett and January Andrews, and they are both writers, and they're stuck in a little bit of a writing rut. So they are trying to work through that in this book. Augustus is a literary fiction writer who kills off his entire cast of characters, and January is a romance writer who always gives her characters a happy ending. They couldn't be more opposite, right? It's a forced proximity, enemies to lover plot. I thoroughly enjoyed this book, and do not be fooled by the title and the cover. This is bringing all of the fall atmosphere that we are looking for. Next book on our list is Legends and Lattes. Now, from what I understand, this book was actually very popular when it released, I want to say around this time last year. I did not read it this time last year. I actually have not read it yet, but I have heard such good things about this book that it is on my TBR, and I had to share it with you for the month of November. In all of the reviews that I have read and seen, people love it and love how cozy it is. So from what I know, this is a high fantasy book about an orc named Viv. And Viv is a barbarian who's tired of a battle, so she is looking for her next adventure. Viv ends up in Thune, and she opens the first coffee shop that this cute little town has ever seen. So we have a high fantasy, an orc named Viv, and she's opening a coffee shop. This is perfect for fall. I'm telling you, I cannot wait to get my hands on this book. And I actually wanted to share with you, I saw that this book just went through a rebrand of the cover, and look at how beautiful this cover is. I cannot wait to get this and to read it and to share more about it with you. Next on our list, we have The Last Thing He Told Me. And this is a mystery about a woman who is trying to find her husband after he just vanishes one day. So she and her stepdaughter are trying to find her husband. And as they continue to uncover things from his past, they start to have a lot of questions. And while they're on this journey of trying to find him and trying to find out about his life before they were married, they start to kind of create a new path and new journey for their lives that none of them really anticipated. The next book that I would like to recommend is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. Now, I know this is the second mystery that I am putting on this list, but there is just something about a good mystery while you are cuddled up in the cool weather with a blanket on. Oh my gosh, you guys, it is just the whole thing for me. I really enjoy reading a good mystery in the fall chilly months. I think because I'm more comfortable just sitting there cuddled up, and when you have a really good mystery, you don't mind just continuing to flip through the pages. You get lost in the book. So that is why I have got another mystery on this list for you. Now, I haven't actually finished this book yet. I was listening to it on Libby, and then I got super busy and I never actually finished it, but I want to. The bits of this book that I did listen to were so good. So I have already put myself back on the wait list. Unfortunately, it is super popular at my library, so I think I have some ridiculous amount of time to wait until it comes back around to me. I guess that's my own fault for not finishing it the first time, but that was not because the book wasn't good. I just didn't have a chance to listen to like a 10-hour audiobook. Anyways, all of that to say, it was absolutely fantastic, and I think that you will really enjoy it. This book follows Hannah on her journey to Oxford, and at her journey at Oxford, she becomes friends with April, who is the ultimate it girl, but by the second semester, April is dead. Years later, Hannah's world is flipped completely upside down when the man who was convicted of killing her friend April has died in prison. And then a journalist knocks on her door and provides her with evidence that shows that the man who was convicted might not have actually been the murderer. Okay, I can't share any more about it because I don't know what happens next, but we have to find out. Now that we have gone over a few cozy fall books to read, I think it's also fitting that we get into a few cold and holiday books, because November means Christmas, at least in my household and in stores, right? In November, we're going to see all of the holiday decorations going out. People are going to be putting their Christmas trees up. It is time for us to start considering the holiday books that we want to read. The first wintry book that I am going to recommend is One Night on the Island by Josie Silver. And this book is about a dating columnist writer named Cleo. And she goes on this self-discovery journey to a remote island in Ireland. The remote Irish island cabin that she has booked is a far cry from the flat that she has in London, but it is the chance for her to really sit in solitude and to take a step away from work and to think about the next steps that she wants for her life and for her love life. Of course, Cleo's solitary trip to this remote island doesn't quite go as planned when somehow the cabin was double booked for the exact time frame that she was supposed to be there. And of course, Mac from Boston shows up, and he's not going to cancel his reservation, and she is definitely not going to cancel her reservation. So now they have to try and figure out what they are going to do while they wait a week for the next ferry to come to the island. This is a forced proximity romance that I absolutely loved. The characters are really funny, and the writing is enjoyable, and it delivers all of those wintry feelings that we need to get ready for in our winter reading lists. I don't actually remember how I came across this one. I think that this was available when I first downloaded Libby, and I was just kind of looking for what was available right at that moment. This happened to be one of them, and I really enjoyed it. I've seen some other books by Josie Silver at Target actually, and I am so interested in trying one of her other books after listening to this one because I did really like it. So I would love to know if you have read any of her others. Once I've seen some books in Target, I know that they've got to be pretty enjoyable or pretty well liked to show up in the stores. So can't wait to get my hands on another one of hers. The last book that I am going to add to our list today is our Extreme Holiday book. That pick is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. Now you should be familiar with her name. She has some other very popular books that have been all over Book Talk, like The Unhoneymooners, Love and Other Words, and Something Wilder. So I am very excited to be picking this one up on my next Barnes & Noble trip to read it along with you. This is going to be the book that I am choosing to kick off my holiday reads. Of course, this book is set around Christmas, and we follow Maylin Jones. First of all, I love that name. I think it is so precious. And we follow her and her family as they travel to a cabin in snowy Utah for the holidays, and they are traveling with two other families who they have traveled with to this cabin for years. Maylin is having a little bit of a mental breakdown, and she shouts out to the universe to just show her what will make her happy. Super simple, right? Not so fast. When Maylin wakes up, she is on a plane to Utah, traveling for her holiday. But here's where the issue comes in. She continues to wake up and experience this over and over again. Think 50 First Dates, that movie from years ago with Adam Sandler. She's just experiencing the same sequence of events over and over again. She's stuck in a time loop, and she has to figure out how to break that to be able to find her one true love. I know it sounds so cheesy, but count me in. That wraps up the books that I would like to recommend for fall and going into the holidays. Now, I would love to hear from you. Have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts on them? And also, are there any other books that you would like to recommend to me? I am so interested in hearing about your cozy fall books, your holiday books, and then all of those winter atmosphere books. I am here for all of the books that match the seasons. I am so ready for it, and I would love to hear your thoughts on these recommendations and what you would like to recommend as well. As always, thank you so much for watching. Of course, I've got my usual links down below. I would love for you to connect with me on TikTok and Goodreads, and there's a link for Book of the Month Club where you can sign up at a discounted price if you are interested. I will see you in the next video. Bye!